Hello, Mighty Oaks families and students. Principal Emily here, and I am so excited to be welcoming all of our Mighty Oaks who have elected to come back in person on Monday, October 19th. We are so excited to have our students back on campus. And of course, we look forward to continuing to serve our online students and seeing you virtually. I wanted to take some time to go over our Hooker Oaks safety protocols with you. The very first slide talks about our drop-off and pick-up procedures. Drop-off and pick-up is going to look quite a bit different than it has in the past. Our AM kids can be dropped off at 7:55 and school begins at 8:10. So please arrive at school anytime between 7:55 and 8:10. Students are not allowed on campus prior to 7:55. It is very important that parents remain in their vehicle when they drop their students off. Parents, please do not exit your vehicle. Students will be dropped off and they will walk into school where they will be able to grab a breakfast, which they can eat, and then go into their classroom. There will not be recess in the morning. Students will be going directly to their classrooms if they do not choose to eat breakfast. We have 3 drop-off locations and pickup locations around campus. Wing 1 is going to be using the main entrance that is on East 3rd Avenue. Wings 2 and 3 are going to be using the playground entrance on East 3rd Avenue. And our kindergarten, TK, and room 24 are going to be using the kindergarten gates that are located on Arbutus Avenue closest to the kindergarten classrooms. Our pickup locations are going to be in the same location as the drop-off. And once again, as soon as you are dropped off, it is very important that you go directly to your classroom or directly to grab a breakfast, which you will eat, and then go to your classroom. Pickup time is at 10:10, and we do ask that students are picked up promptly. Students who remain on campus longer than 10 minutes, we don't have supervision for those students. So it's very important in order for us to be able to safely open up our schools that we have parents on time and prompt picking up their children. Our PM drop-off begins at 11:55 and class will begin at 12:10. So similar to the morning, you can arrive and eat a lunch and then go to class. The drop-off locations are the same and the pickup locations are the same as well. Sanitation is very important as we all work together to slow the spread of COVID-19. We have brand new hand sanitizer stations that have been installed in every classroom and at all of our entrance points around campus. Students will be required to sanitize their hands as soon as they enter our campus and as they enter and exit their classrooms. We are also requiring students to wash their hands prior to eating and after using the restroom. Our awesome maintenance and operations team will be cleaning rooms between in-person sessions, and teachers may also be sanitizing surfaces during or in between class sessions. Face coverings are required while on campus. Students and staff may wear masks. You can wear a face shield as long as it has a drape covering or a neck gaiter. This is incredibly important. We will have masks available if you forget it at home. However, you will not be able to be on campus if you are not wearing a mask. If you do refuse to wear a mask, you will be immediately sent home. And if this happens 2 times, then you're going to be immediately placed on distance learning. Very, very important. Unfortunately, we are not going to have recess at this stage. We only have our students for 2 hours, and our teachers have a lot to pack into those 2 hours. They will definitely be taking stretch breaks throughout, but we will not have recess during this stage of our reopening. Meals, as mentioned before, all students this year are getting a free meal, breakfast and lunch. So breakfast is served from 7:55 to 8:10, and those AM kids will leave with a sack lunch. Every AM kid is going to have a sack lunch delivered to the classroom that they can take home to eat. Our PM group will be able to arrive and eat lunch, and then they will be given a breakfast that they can take home with them that they can enjoy at home the next morning. Our drinking fountains are covered right now, so we ask that all students bring a water bottle with you and make sure it's filled to the top so that you can stay hydrated while you're on campus. Please make sure that you label your water bottle with your name. Now would be a great time to use your new water bottle that you got from the virtual Jogathon. You're going to need to make sure that you bring that water bottle home with you every day so that you can refill it and then bring it back the next day. Restroom protocol. We do have designated restrooms for each of our classrooms. All of Wing 1 students use the Wing 1 restroom. All of Wing 2 students use the Wing 2 restroom, and the rest of our students use the outdoor restrooms on Wing 3. It is very important that our students observe our restroom protocol, and that is that only 2 students are allowed in the restroom at a time. Students are not allowed to congregate outside of the restroom or really at any other place on campus. It's very, very important that students and staff wash their hands thoroughly after using the restroom and sanitize their hands before entering and after exiting their classroom. The restrooms are cleaned frequently throughout the day. This is another really important one. It's don't go into the restroom and touch your mask. You don't want to remove or touch your mask when you're in the restroom. And of course, just like everything else, we are following all of guidelines that have been set forth by the Butte County Department of Public Health. Student materials. Each student should have their own materials and not share. Again, we are trying to slow the spread of COVID-19, so as much as possible, students will have their own individual materials. Your teacher will let you know whether or not you need to bring your Chromebook to and from school. And teachers will have a basket of clean and dirty pencils. So if a student does not have a pencil, they will have access to a clean one. Students not feeling well. We know, especially as we're entering cold and flu season, that we are going to have some students who aren't feeling well. It is really important that if you are not feeling well, that you do not come to school. I think in the past, all of us have been guilty of going to school even when we're not feeling our best, even when we have a sore throat, maybe a fever, and we think, okay, I can just power through it. But in this era of COVID-19, we have to be very careful. And so it is definitely wise to stay home if you are not feeling well. If you are exhibiting symptoms while you are at school, you will be immediately sent home. So symptoms could include having a headache or a fever, having chills, aches and pains, a sore throat, and there are several others as well that will be shared with you by your teachers. We do have an isolation area here at Hooker Oak. So if students are not feeling well during the time that they are on campus, they will be taken to the isolation room. We do have actually 2 isolation areas. While the weather is nice, the isolation area is going to be right out front of the school at the drop-off location on East 3rd Avenue, where students will be able to sit and wait to be picked up. Once it gets colder, our isolation area will be the green room, which is right off of our stage, and there is a door that exits out onto the street on the Arbutus Avenue side where parents can pick up students. Teachers are going to be calling the office if they have students not feeling well, and then somebody will come down. Most likely it'll be Ms. Jess, our health assistant, to take your temperature and talk with you about your symptoms and then decide whether or not you're able to go back to class or if you need to be sent home. All of our teachers have thermometers, and we will have temperature checks throughout the day as needed. Social distancing is a term that we have all become very familiar with, and by definition, it means keeping your distance from other people. We will have structure within our classrooms to create distance between students. Students, you might see blue tape or social distancing signage around campus. You might see X's or spots outside of your classrooms or outside of the cafeteria. And you might see plexiglass in many classrooms as well. So one of the things that is very sad for us here at Hooker Oak is having to say that parents are not allowed on campus. If you've been at Hooker Oak for a while, you know that that is part of who we are at Hooker Oak, is having parents, students, and staff working together as a team. But unfortunately, while we are in this most restrictive purple and red tiers, we cannot have parents on campus. So there also cannot be gatherings outside around our campus, and unfortunately, we cannot have classroom volunteers at this time. Also, while we are in these more restrictive tiers, all events and field trips are canceled. We really look forward to the day that we can get back to normal, because again, that is another thing that really makes Hooker Oak special, is all of the events that we have and the fun field trip. So we ask that we all work together and wear a mask and social distance and follow all of these guidelines so that we can get back to normal and we can go on those field trips and have those special events. And that concludes my presentation. I know that that seems like a lot to digest, and I know it can feel kind of weird with school looking the way that it does, but I can assure you that what has not changed is our passion for teaching you and for seeing you. And we are so excited to be getting our kids back on campus. And we can't wait to see you all on Monday. Bye-bye.